What's good, YouTube? It's your boy, Blue Blood Sports TV, back at y'all with another one. So, legendary, iconic, former, undisputed heavyweight world champion, superstar boxer, Iron Mike Tyson, weighs in on his approach and his training and what he thinks about facing off against legendary, former 4-division world champion, iconic world champion superstar boxer in his own right, Roy Jones Jr., September 12th in Los Angeles, California, right? With that said, Mike Tyson gave his thoughts on how he sees the fight playing out. He says he's absolutely looking to go in there and knock Roy Jones Jr. out, and he wants to make a statement. He says he wants to, recapture the sport of boxing in his right, how he's perceived in the sport of boxing, right? So he says that he was also asked about the comments made about former undisputed heavyweight iconic boxer Big George Foreman, who said that he's worried about Mike Tyson, who's 54 years of age. He's worried about Roy Jones, who's 51 years of age, at this advanced age and this advanced stage in their careers and their life. He's worried how, that one of them could possibly seriously get hurt. So Mike Tyson said he accepts and he likes the fact that he appreciates the fact that George Foreman is concerned. He said, but George Foreman wasn't concerned when George Foreman made his comeback in the sport. So he said that he appreciated him being concerned, but, he has to say, well, George Foreman wasn't concerned when he was, looking to make a comeback and make a statement in his own right. So he shouldn't worry about himself and Roy Jones. He said, we're both professionals. We both understand how to, defend ourselves, how to handle ourselves. He said that, and at the end of the day, what's going to happen is going to happen. Just let it be. He said, I'm in the hurt business. I'm in the business of hurting people. So, he said that, I'm absolutely looking to go in there and knock Roy Jones Jr. out, make a statement, and recapture the boxing world's imagination. So he said that I'm absolutely taking this 1000% serious. I'm looking to go in there and make a statement. I'm looking to knock Roy Jones Jr. out. He said, I'm not going to press the action for the knockout, but I'm absolutely looking to knock him out. He says that I'm looking to make a statement. We know Roy Jones is had once competed at the heavyweight division, which he captured a fourth world title in 4 divisions, right? He became a 4-division world champion when he did so against Ruiz, coming all the way up from 160, 168, 175, and heavyweight. He became world champion there. He started at 54, so Roy Jones absolutely was legendary and iconic, and you can't take anything away from him. But Roy Jones did suffer 2 back-to-back dramatic knockout losses to Antonio Tarver and to Glenn Johnson. Then Roy Jones proceeded to get knocked out again in his career, and people were calling for Roy Jones to call it quits way back when, right? People felt like, Roy Jones was susceptible to getting knocked out at this point in time, and a lot of people worried, including his family, right? But Roy Jones is a competitor. He's a warrior. So Roy Jones wants to compete, right? But like I said, Mike Tyson has been a heavyweight his entire career. Mike Tyson has been showing signs in his training that he's still ferocious, he's still quick, and the last thing to go in the sport of boxing is your power, right? Roy Jones has never been the most technical boxer in the world. He just was so gifted and so athletic, and he could get away with things that you just wouldn't teach. So Roy Jones was able to get away with throwing hooks, from long distance range, and, putting his hands behind his back, and, he just did things that you just wouldn't teach, right? It wasn't technical, right? He wasn't never technically sound. But once his reflexes started to fade, it was abundantly clear that he wasn't the same fighter, right? His skill set just fell off immediately, overnight, right? They say Father Time is undefeated, and it proved to be true, if not in any other case, but in the case of Roy Jones, right? So Roy Jones, his skill set, his reflexes, it faded immediately. He got seriously knocked out by Antonio Tarver. Then he was seriously knocked out by Glenn Johnson. and it became a pattern, right? Yes, he came back. He had some victories over Tito Trinidad and Jeff Lacey. But at the end of the day, you just don't want to see anybody get hurt within the sport of boxing. And Roy Jones shows signs that, he could possibly get hurt within the sport of boxing. And that's what we don't want. The sport of boxing is already dangerous in itself, right? So you don't want to see anybody get seriously hurt. And at 51 years of age, you have to be concerned about Roy Jones. Point blank and period. He finished his career 66-9. He had 47 knockouts, but he himself was knocked out 5 times, okay? He was drastically knocked out by Enzo Renelli back in 2015, excuse me. This is a guy who was 40-7 that knocked Roy Jones out. Then he was knocked out by Denis Lebedev, right? That was in 2011. He was knocked out he was drastically stopped by Danny Green in 2009. He was, then, like I said, in 2004, he was drastically knocked out by Antonio Tarver in May of 2004. And then in September of 2004, he was drastically knocked out by Glenn Johnson, right? So, he showed a pattern of these things. And at 51 years of age, you have to be concerned when you're dealing with somebody that's taking this 1,000% serious, like Mike Tyson is, who competed at heavyweight his entire career, right? Mike Tyson has a mean streak, a ferocious streak. You see him on the pads, right? And Roy Jones doesn't have the reflexes, the quickness, the stamina to keep up with Mike Tyson or to keep Mike Tyson at bay. So this means Mike Tyson is easily, Roy Jones being a smaller guy, Mike Tyson is going to easily work his way on the inside and land that combination. And even though they're going to have on headgear and big gloves, you have to worry that, since Mike Tyson is looking for the knockout, he's looking to make a serious statement. This could prove to be ugly for Roy Jones, right? So Mike Tyson was asked about, possibly competing for a title. He said that, he's not worrying about that right now. One step at a time. He got to handle business with Roy Jones Jr. And then he said that but he's definitely looking to make a statement. And he's definitely looking to, capture the boxing world's imagination once again, as he did in the 80s and the 90s, and be the man in the sport of boxing. He said, why not? So I can't wait to see how this fight plays out. But I'm almost certain I know how the fight is going to play out with Mike Tyson knocking Roy Jones out. This could possibly, it might not even go past 2 rounds. That's how I'm seeing it. But, great health to both guys. But that's all I got for y'all. Y'all already know what it is. It's your boy Blue, Blue Blood Sports TV. Hate, like, comment, and subscribe. You haven't subscribed, hit the subscribe button, hit the like button, hit the bell icon to get all the new notification. Follow me on Instagram at Blue Blood Sports TV, all one word. Y'all already know what it is. Shouts out to the entire LDBC. Shouts out to New Media. Shouts out to Black Media Row. Make sure you like and share these videos. That's all I got for y'all. Peace.